There is a reason you feel that sudden surge of anger when you see them behave that way. There is a reason certain people trigger something dark and visceral inside you that you cannot explain with logic alone. If this message has reached you now, understand this. It is not random. Your unconscious has been waiting for this moment, the moment when you are finally ready to see what your hatred has been trying to show you all along. You know the feeling. Someone walks into a room, and before they even speak, something in you coils tight. Maybe it is the way they carry themselves, the way they laugh too loudly, the way they need constant attention. Maybe it is their confidence that feels like arrogance. Maybe it is their vulnerability that looks like weakness. Or maybe it is something you cannot even name. Something that just makes your skin crawl. Something that fills you with a disgust so intense you almost feel guilty for feeling it. I know you have tried to understand it. You have asked yourself why this person, why this behavior, why this reaction. You have tried to be rational about it. You have told yourself it is about their flaws, their problems, their issues. You have built a case in your mind, listing all the reasons why your hatred makes sense. All the evidence that proves you are right to feel this way. You remained convinced that if they would just change, if they would just stop being so, whatever it is, then you would feel better. You would be at peace. The trigger would disappear. But here is what you have noticed, even if you have never said it out loud. The intensity does not match the crime. Your reaction is too big, too sharp, too consuming. You see other people respond to this same behavior with mild annoyance or complete indifference, and you wonder why you feel like you want to crawl out of your own skin. Why does it bother you so much? Why does this one thing, this one quality, this one pattern send you into such a state? Maybe it is people who are too selfish, always putting themselves first. Maybe it is people who are too needy, always seeking validation. Maybe it is people who are fake, performing kindness while you sense the manipulation beneath. Maybe it is people who are successful without seeming to struggle, who have what you want without the suffering you have endured. Or maybe, just maybe, it is something deeper. Something your rational mind has been protecting you from seeing. You have felt the shame that comes with this kind of hatred. You have wondered if it makes you a bad person. You have hidden it, dressed it up in moral language, in justified criticism, in reasonable boundaries. Your mind has worked overtime to convince you that this is about them, not you. That your disgust is a sign of your values, your standards, your integrity. The truth is your unconscious does not do anything by accident. Carl Jung understood this better than almost anyone who came before him. He discovered that beneath the surface of our conscious identity, beneath the person we believe ourselves to be, there exists a realm called the shadow. And in this shadow lives everything you have decided you are not. Every quality you have rejected, every impulse you have denied, every part of yourself you have locked away because accepting it would threaten the story you tell about who you are. Your heart still holds something it refuses to acknowledge. Your deep mind is showing you a mirror, and you keep insisting it is a window. Think about the person who triggers you most. Close your eyes and see their face. Feel that familiar tightening in your chest, that heat rising in your throat. Notice how quickly the justifications come, how easily you can list their flaws, how certain you feel that this is about their character, their choices, their failures. Now let me tell you something that will change everything you think you know about hatred. That person is not your enemy. They are your teacher. And what they are teaching you has nothing to do with them and everything to do with the parts of yourself you buried so deep you forgot they were ever there. Most people go their entire lives believing their reactions to others are about those other people. They build entire identities around what they are not. I am not selfish like them. I am not weak like them. I am not fake like them. I am not show-offy like them. They wear their hatred like a badge of honor, proof of their superiority, evidence of their evolved consciousness. But here is what most people miss. When you hate something in another person with an intensity that feels disproportionate, when the sight of a particular behavior sends you into an emotional spiral, when you cannot stop thinking about how much you despise this quality, your unconscious is not responding to them. It is responding to the you that you disowned, to the you that you amputated from your sense of self because somewhere, somehow you decided that part was unacceptable. Carl Jung called this projection. and it is one of the most powerful psychological mechanisms your deep mind possesses. Projection is the process by which you take the parts of yourself you cannot accept and place them onto others. You see in them what you refuse to see in yourself. You hate in them what you have forbidden in yourself. The person who triggers rage when they act selfishly, somewhere in your history you learned that your needs do not matter, that wanting things for yourself makes you bad, that self-care is selfishness, and selfishness is sin. So you buried that part of yourself that wants, that desires, that puts itself first. You created an identity built on self-sacrifice, on being the one who always gives, who never asks, who takes up no space. And now, when you see someone freely expressing the selfhood you denied yourself, your shadow screams, not at them, at you, at the prison you built around your own needs. The person who disgusts you with their neediness, their constant search for validation, their emotional dependence? Look deeper. Somewhere you decided that needing others makes you weak, that vulnerability is dangerous, that asking for help is admitting failure. So you built walls. You became the strong one, the independent one, the one who never breaks. And you buried the part of you that aches for connection, that wants to be seen, that needs reassurance. When someone displays the neediness you have exiled, your hatred rises, not because they are wrong, but because they are living the truth you have been running from. They are allowed to need, and you have never given yourself that permission. The person whose confidence feels like arrogance, whose self-assurance makes you sick. Examine what you were taught about taking up space, about being seen, about believing in your own value. Somewhere you learnt to minimize yourself, to doubt your worth, to question your right to exist fully. You made yourself small and called it humility. You silenced your voice and called it wisdom. And now when someone stands tall, speaks freely, owns their brilliance without apology, something in you recoils. Because they are doing what you have forbidden yourself to do. They are taking the space you were told you did not deserve. This is the truth your soul has been trying to show you. The intensity of your hatred is directly proportional to the depth of your repression. The bigger the reaction, the deeper the wound. The more visceral the disgust, the more vital the disowned part. Your hatred is not a moral compass, it is a treasure map. It is your psyche saying, here, look here. This is where you abandoned yourself. This is where you decided you were not allowed to be whole. But here is where Jung's discovery becomes even more profound, even more life-changing. The shadow does not only contain the darkness you rejected, it also contains the gold, the light, the power, the gifts you were told were too much, too bright, too dangerous. Some of you hate people who are joyful, who laugh easily, who seem unburdened by the weight you carry, and you tell yourself it is because they are naive, shallow, unaware of suffering. But the truth? Own where you learned that joy is frivolous, that happiness is irresponsible, that if you are not suffering, you are not serious, not deep, not worthy. So you exiled your own capacity for lightness. And now when you see it in others, your shadow rages, not at their joy, but at your own self-imposed misery. Some of you hate people who are creative, expressive, unapologetically artistic. You call them attention-seeking, dramatic, impractical, but underneath, you buried your own creative impulses because they felt too risky, too vulnerable, too likely to invite criticism or failure. So you became practical, sensible, grounded, and you watch others create with a hatred that masks the grief of your own unlived artistic life. Think about it. Why does this specific behavior bother you when it does not bother everyone else? Why do some people watch the same display of confidence or neediness or joy or creativity and feel nothing while you feel everything? Because it is not about what they are doing, it is about what you are not allowing yourself to be. Your unconscious is like a pressure cooker. Every time you deny a part of yourself, every time you reject an impulse or quality or desire because it does not fit the acceptable image you have constructed, that energy does not disappear. It goes into the shadow. It builds, it waits, and when you encounter someone who embodies what you have rejected, the pressure releases, as hatred, as disgust, as moral outrage. But here is what changes everything. Here is the revelation that can transform your entire experience of yourself and others. The people you hate are not your problem. They are your medicine. They are showing you exactly where you need to expand, where you need to integrate, where you need to reclaim the parts of yourself you amputated in the name of being good, being acceptable, being safe. Jung discovered that the path to wholeness, to what he called individuation, requires shadow integration. It requires looking at what you hate and asking, what is this showing me about myself? What part of my humanity have I disowned? What am I not allowing myself to be? This is not about excusing toxic behavior. This is not about accepting abuse or tolerating cruelty. There is a difference between someone whose behavior is genuinely harmful and someone whose behavior triggers your shadow. The key is in the intensity and the irrationality of your response. If your reaction is measured, boundaried, clear, that is wisdom. If your reaction is visceral, consuming, disproportionate, that is shadow. When you dream of the people who trigger you, when you cannot stop thinking about them, when you find yourself obsessing over their flaws, your deep mind is not warning you about them. It is trying to show you the parts of yourself that need attention, need acceptance, need integration. The person who is too loud shows you where you silenced yourself. The person who is too emotional shows you where you numbed yourself. The person who is too ambitious shows you where you convinced yourself you were not allowed to want. The person who is too gentle shows you where you armed yourself against tenderness. Your hatred is a roadmap back to your wholeness. But you must listen to this warning. If you continue to project, if you continue to blame, if you continue to use your hatred as proof of your righteousness, you will stay fragmented. You will stay at war with yourself. You will keep encountering the same triggers, the same people, the same patterns, because your unconscious will keep creating opportunities for you to see what you refuse to acknowledge. Do not justify your hatred by surrounding yourself only with people who agree with you, who validate your disgust, who join you in your projection. Do not mistake your moral outrage for consciousness. Do not confuse your judgment with wisdom. Do not avoid the people who trigger you and pretend that is healing. Avoidance is not integration, it is just more repression. Do not use shadow work as an excuse to accept genuinely toxic behavior. Integration does not mean tolerating harm. It means understanding the difference between someone who is actually dangerous and someone who is simply reflecting your disowned self. Instead, get curious. When that familiar hatred rises, when that visceral disgust takes over, pause, breathe, and ask yourself, what is this person allowed to be that I am not allowing in myself? What part of my humanity have I rejected that they are freely expressing? What did I learn was unacceptable that I am now punishing in them? Carl Jung said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. He also said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Your triggers are not random. Your hatred is not accidental. Your shadow is not trying to torture you. It is trying to free you. It is trying to show you where you abandoned yourself, where you shrunk yourself, where you decided that being whole was too dangerous, so you chose to be acceptable instead. The walls are not there to protect you anymore. They are there to imprison you, and every person who triggers you is offering you a key if you are brave enough to use it. You are not meant to be a fraction of yourself. You are not meant to live in constant rejection of your own humanity. You are not meant to exile parts of your soul just to fit into someone else's definition of good. You are becoming ready to reclaim what you disowned. You are becoming ready to integrate what you rejected. You are becoming ready to understand that wholeness is not about being only light or only acceptable or only safe. It is about being complete, holding the tension of opposites, allowing yourself to be selfish and generous, vulnerable and strong, joyful and deep, creative and grounded, confident and humble. Remember who you are. You are not the one who needs to stay small to be loved. You are not the one who needs to reject parts of yourself to be acceptable. You are the one brave enough to look into the mirror of your hatred and see your self looking back. Those people who trigger you, they are not your enemies. They are your guides. They are showing you the way home to the parts of yourself you left behind. This is the work. This is the path. This is how you stop being a victim of your unconscious projections and start being the author of your conscious integration. If this message found you at the exact moment your soul needed to hear it, type, "I see my shadow," in the comments to claim this energy. This is not just a comment. It is a declaration to your unconscious that you are ready. Ready to stop projecting. Ready to start integrating. Ready to reclaim the wholeness that has always been your birthright. Leave a heart if you felt this was meant specifically for you. If you are ready to continue this work of shadow integration and becoming whole, this is where that journey deepens. The universe is not punishing you with these triggers, it is guiding you back to yourself. Your story is not about fixing your hatred, it is about understanding what your hatred has been protecting you from seeing. Remember, your shadow is not your enemy. It is the part of you that has been waiting in the darkness for you to finally turn on the light. And when you do, when you finally see what has been there all along, you will understand that you were never broken, you were just incomplete. And now you are ready to be whole,